Hi guys, welcome to my affordable watch collection. My name is Aviv, and today we're going to take a look at something familiar yet completely different, the brand new Praesidus A-11 Combat. Coming in at a very small size in modern terms, today we are going to try and answer the question, how small is too small? For the sake of full disclosure, this watch was sent to me from the company as part of my ongoing collaboration with them, and unlike the Vince Speranza edition that I got to take a look at before, I do get to keep this one. I have also recently become a Praesidus affiliate partner, meaning I do get a small commission if you buy a watch using the link in the description of this video. Keep that in mind as you watch this review. That being said, I do my best to keep all of my reviews as impartial as I can, and you can always expect to get my own honest opinions of the watches I review. Just like the Vince Speranza edition, this is a modern reissue of the A-11 mil-spec field watches worn by the Allied forces during World War II. The watch is going to be available in two dial colors, black and cream, and you can also choose between leather, canvas, or nylon straps. The price is going to be $129 US. The A-11 Combat comes in a plain brown box. Inside you'll find the watch itself with a little hang tag, an instruction manual, and a cool dog tag international warranty card. Let's run through the dimensions and see just how compact the Combat really is. The width of the case is 32 mm, its thickness is 10 mm including the protruding crystal, the distance between the lugs is 16 mm, lug tip to lug tip is 38 mm, and the watch only weighs 35 grams. The water resistance here is 50 meters, which I guess is sufficient considering you're probably not going to take it diving. Praesidus called this dial color white, but it's actually more of a cream or beige color. It has a matte finish and no branding, just like the original A-11 watches. A black printed minute track with lume dots on its 5-minute marks is found adjacent to the edge of the dial, with Arabic numerals marking the tens of minutes on its outside, and 1 to 12 hour markers on its inside. That's everything on the dial. Pretty minimalistic with no added complications. The hour and minute hands are hollowed cathedral style hands filled with lume on their centers. The seconds hand is not lumed and has a lollipop counterbalance. All three hands are colored black, so they'd pop against the light colored dial. The lume is pretty nice. I'm not sure as to what compound Praesidus used on the dial markers and hands, but it does glow in a green light very similar to C3 Superluminova. Whether it is or not, I can't say for sure. They don't state that anywhere. The crystal covering the dial is a slightly protruding double-domed K1 mineral glass with some blue-tinted anti-reflective coating applied to its underside. It does give some distortions to the dial on its edges, a very nice vintage effect. The case is made of 316L stainless steel, and from what I can tell, it is identical to that of the A-11 Vince Speranza edition, except for the size. The tops of the drilled lugs are highly polished, and the rest of the case is neatly bead blasted. That is a rather unusual approach, but I think it gives a really nice effect. A relatively oversized crown is found at the 3 o'clock position. It too is polished and unbranded, and gnarled for excellent grip. This is a push-pull type crown. Simply pull it out to set the time. The case back is made of stainless steel as well. It screws down into place and takes a much more minimalistic approach than the one on the Vince Speranza edition. Praesidus A-11 is engraved on top and assembled in the USA with imported parts, Swiss movement on the bottom. Praesidus looked for a reliable and accurate movement that would fit this small case, and thus the A-11 Combat is powered by a Swiss-made Ronda 763 caliber. Upon closer inspection, this is actually the 763E variation, a 1 joule time-only quartz movement with 40 months of battery life and a stated accuracy of -10 to +20 seconds per month. The optional leather strap is actually very nice. It is warm brown colored with some nice stitchings on top. It is very pliable and supple and is equipped with quick release spring bars. It has matching leather keepers and a very cool vintage style polished stainless steel buckle. Now for the moment of truth. Let's put it on and see how a 32mm watch wears on a 7-inch wrist. What do you think? I actually quite like it. Yes, it's smaller than I'm used to, but I have to say that it doesn't feel too weird for me. I do like a small watch, and this one is very comfortable and I think very elegant as well. I was wearing it to work for a few days to see how I feel about it, and mostly when I looked down at my wrist, it felt like I was wearing a vintage watch and not a feminine or juvenile watch. That being said, I can certainly understand anyone who would say the Combat is too small. I did ask people around me what they thought of it, and 2 out of 5 people said they thought it looked way too small. So, it's definitely a matter of personal taste, and 100% up to you to decide whether you like it or not. It is extremely comfortable though, there's no doubt about that. It is lightweight and the leather strap is really good. Legibility is also very good, and reading the time is very easy thanks to the black borders of the hands. Finding different straps to put this watch on is probably not going to be very easy if you're a dude, as this size is not very common for adult men. If you have a very small wrist, or are a lady, or are considering this watch to give to a child, then it shouldn't be that hard. Now let's take a look at the pros and cons of the Praesidus A-11 Combat, as I see them, starting with the cons. We'll put the small size aside for a moment. I don't consider it a con, although it is clearly going to put a lot of people off this watch. I also don't consider a quartz movement a con, although it could have been nice to have a hand-wound mechanical movement inside this watch for it to truly be loyal to the origin of the Combat. I do consider the mineral glass a con. I would prefer seeing a sapphire crystal or even an acrylic one. A sapphire crystal is more scratch resistant, and while an acrylic crystal will get scratched rather easily, buffing those scratches out is pretty easy with some polywatch. A mineral crystal is neither here or there. It is more scratch resistant than acrylic, but it might potentially get scratched eventually, and when it does, there's not much you can do about it. Besides that, I'm not a fan of blue AR coating, but that's just me. 16mm replacement straps will be harder to find, but the leather strap is good enough that you won't have to look for any. On that note, we'll move over to the pros. This is a light and refreshing watch. Yes, I think a watch can be refreshing, even a military-styled watch. It has a sense of novelty, but it doesn't feel like a toy. It is currently the only period-correct A-11 style field watch modernly manufactured that I can think of, size and styling-wise anyway. Other than the ticking seconds hand and the modern materials, it feels like you're actually handling a new old stock vintage watch from the 1940s. It is perfect for smaller wrists, and great for women and children too. It looks great in my opinion. I love the color of the dial. It has nice specs for the price as well. A nicely finished stainless steel case, a Swiss quartz movement, and a great looking leather strap. On top of it all, it is assembled in the US, and that must mean something to a lot of you guys watching. So what do you guys think? Is 32mm too small? Is this just a gimmick? Or can you see yourselves rocking the spirit correct timepiece? Let me know by dropping a comment below. Check the link in the description if you're interested in the Combat A-11. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my affordable watch collection, and hit the notification bell for more affordable watches related content. You can also follow me on Instagram and get to know me and my collection a little bit better, get all the news about the channel, and connect with me on a more personal level. Here is a quick link to my review of the more modern-sized Praesidus A-11 Vince Speranza edition, and to another review you might enjoy. I want to thank Praesidus for sending the A-11 Combat in for review, and to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time.